Hey guys, Bubba here with Bubba News. Yeah, I wanted to talk about what's going on today in Israel. They have closed the Gaza border crossing now for tomorrow for the second day in a row. This is huge, and no one's talking about this. Israel seals the Erez crossing until further notice following rocket attacks. The closure could, quote unquote, hurt Gaza more than a bomb, says former head of Israel's National Security Council. This is Gantz. He did a meeting this afternoon, and Israel's coordinator of government activities in the territories announced Saturday this closure of the Erez border crossing between Israel and Gaza following the launch of 2 rockets at Israel by Gazan terrorists on Friday night. The border crossing is to remain shut off from Sunday until further notice, pending a security situation assessment. And guys, what they're doing is the UN is actually starting to look into what's going on with Israel, because the entire Arab world is pointing the fingers at Israel for storming their mosque, when Israel, all they were doing was keeping the peace and getting rid of the mayhem so the worshipers could come in for Ramadan. And the reason that this is huge is because Israel opened up their borders a lot more for this Ramadan to let more Gazans in and Palestinians in for worship to Ramadan. And since they've done that, it's just been all kinds of mayhem, which always happens, it seems like, every year around Ramadan. But even Israel's National Security Council told Army Radio Sunday today that a move could hurt Gaza more than a bomb. I give this response to rocket fire a good chance of success. It is clear to everyone that if there will be 1 or 2 days of quiet, the crossing will reopen. That is in everyone's interest. However, Saturday, senior Hamas member Bashir al-Masri passed a message to Israel via mediators warning that shutting the crossing would lead to an increase in escalation. On March 27th, the Israeli government expanded the number of Gazan workers with permits to work in Israel. They raised it from 8,000 to 12,000. They are then going to move it from 12,000 to 20,000 a day. This decision was explained on March 1st by Defense Minister Benny Gantz as part of a broader Gazan policy, including plans to expand the civilian humanitarian policy, including an immediate expansion of the number of employees who head out to work in Israel. And this is really going to hit them in their pocketbooks, as they are blocked from crossing the Erez crossing. They are the only pedestrian crossing from Gaza into Israel to do work and to make money and to take it back home. This is going to hit them in their pocketbooks where it hurts, just because Israel wants their leaders, Hamas, to stop the rockets. Israel's ready to launch an immediate operation in Gaza if government orders tell them to do that, as they are on high alert for more rocket attacks tonight from Gaza. And as of now, around 2 p.m. Eastern Time, as I record this on Sunday afternoon, the 23rd of April, there have been no attacks from Israel or Gaza. However, this is the time period where they usually start kicking it off, one way or another. So what might happen is that Israel might not launch anything, Gaza might not launch anything. They'll have this 1 more day extension into Monday, but then it will be Israel's duty to then open back up the Gazan gates to allow the Palestinians in to come in to work, to make their money and take it back to their families. So, a lot is riding on the table tonight, and especially tomorrow night, because if Israel does not release and open up the borders, then all kinds of grief is going to break loose, in my opinion, as we come to the close of Ramadan here at the end of the month. Now, Hamas has gotten better with their accuracy in hitting Israel, but keep in mind still about only 1/4 of all rockets make it to Israel, as they land still back in Gaza. Just like the other day, this UN Regional Works Agency site was damaged by a Gazan rocket. A rocket was fired towards Israel, and it lands within Gaza, causing damage to this UN Regional Works Agency facility next to this school. One Arab at the site was injured and evacuated to a local hospital, the local news says. They can't even get it right. They even get it close to this UN headquarters of Gaza. So as you can see, the tensions are totally mounting as this stuff is starting to come to a head. And this is the rocket fire from the other night, Friday night into Saturday morning. So it's a ticking time bomb ready to go off. But here's what's going on the past few weeks. Over the past few weeks, Palestinians have destroyed and burned Joseph's tomb. They vandalized Joshua's tomb. And they've shot Jews trying to visit them. So once again, the tensions are mounting just like it has been. Just like last year when they had all those 4,000 plus rockets that were launched from Gaza into Israel, following Ramadan for everything that Israel was doing and that the Arab world was believing as well. So it's a mixture of both. You've got this guy, a boss, says he makes a mean of $110,000 a day maintaining all this. It's kind of like our industrial war machine. We've got to keep it going. So why would he stop all the violence that's going on when this is paying everything he owns? Jews never enter the mosque and never go anywhere near it. They tour the Temple Mount, the holiest site in Judaism. The Palestinian leadership knows this, and they continue to lie about it. So you've got the condemnation of all of Israel's enemies and their surrounding neighbors, which is leading up to, in my opinion, very soon, the Psalm 83 war coming to pass. Because Israel's got to get rid of its enemies surrounding them that want to wipe them off the face of the earth so they can be ready for a peace plan. When there's peace and safety, sudden destruction comes. Very soon, Israel's neighbors will come to take Israel and to try to wipe it off the map for peace and safety. However, Israel will become the victor. Guys, we'll talk to you soon.